Hey guys, TurpentineCrow here, episode 11 of TurpentineCrow War 83 Experience. I have a very good video for you guys today. It's kind of a transition video between work that was happening in Partisans and after Fishermen started to fall. Uh, this is the last video where I'm kind of don't have my same routes to get to Partisan Road. I'm still deploying from Fisherman's, but I haven't gone back to Partisans, and I am doing a little bit of deep line scouting in this video. You'll get to see how that's done, how you get behind the line, how you develop and retain resources. Like this fuel truck is a really good example. This fuel truck I'm taking with me, man. This is my fuel truck now. It's full of fuel. I'm going to throw it in my barge. Fuel truck on a barge, your barge never runs out of fuel. You gotta go get a barge real quick though. Yeah, this is a really good video. It teaches you how to sneak behind the line, keep your binoculars up and out in front of you. There's a lot of information and stuff about how to hit enemy logistical fields, how to keep an eye on things. It's a pretty fun video. It's a lot of sneaky stuff. Gathering resources behind the line, using resources behind the line uh, via randomly parked trucks and stuff like that. Later in the video, you're also going to see what happens when enemy bases decay. So you just see a group of vehicles and no more base because vehicles don't decay and bases do. So that this late in the game in this style of game, that's a big source of resources that you can get. Like you'll find BMATs inside CVs, fuel inside all the vehicles, so on and so forth. I'll just narrate a little bit for you guys. So this is Grizzly Refuge. It had been held by the Wardens for some time, and as soon as I noticed that their concrete base here decayed, I came right over here because these are big scores that you try to pay attention to. So if they have had a place like this, like a concrete base for a while, and you see it decays, you know, this is one of those places I come right out to because you know there's going to be a score here. It wasn't as good as I thought, you know, this 40 mil thing, that's not very important. I park it here, but later, you know, I gather some more stuff, kill their CVs here. Just generally making sure that it's not going to be easy for them to get this back. So already they don't have fuel here, they don't have any CVs here. They're going to have to drive a CV out. These are one of those things you want to get on. Here's the HAK. You know what? At this stage in the war, they're useless. Like what? I don't even want it, so I just burn it. People on our side, colonials, they don't want it. They don't want it. I mean, it's novelty, but no one's going to give me anything for it. It's not worth the time to bring back. Same with the fuel trucks at this point. All this stuff is just starting to fall by the wayside. There's only really a demand for enemy vehicles when the war is either stable, like the front lines are stable, or you're winning. And if you're winning, it's boring. I find, anyways. It just becomes too easy. Like this current War 84, you know, it's just too easy. The one side didn't show up, so that's fine though, because I mean, you get time to edit these videos. 83 was a very long war, and I think everybody's still just kind of resting from that war, so that's fine. I'm not too worried about it. Yeah, so this was Grizzly Refuge. There's that decayed base that I was talking about. I'm just kind of working my way through here, just making sure I've gotten everything. Getting a good look around the entire island. Yeah, looks like everything's going to decay here. So I'm going to set off. I got some really cool things. You know, I'm really happy with what I got here. This barge and this fuel truck are going to suit me well. And something that you don't see in this video, or that did happen before, like I often play and don't record, but if something fun is happening, I try to get the recording up. So that's why some of the videos you're going to see like are halfway through, like the last video with Morningstar and the tank and the HAK that we stole. See, I was just out scouting, and then I met Morningstar behind the line, and he seemed competent, so we started to do some work together. Yeah, and then I started recording, and so that's why you got that mortar tank and the HAK halfway. But that fucker, I knew it was there. I just didn't think it had the range during the dark. So yeah, so I always cut out the process of me starting over again and just give you the boat riding up to where I was. But that takes quite a bit of time, anyways. But yeah, so these videos, like this particular playset, was about 3.5 hours, and that turns into um, about 15 minutes of video, 16 minutes of video. So, and that's only if things are exciting happen. This video in particular, because it's a scouting video and a backline sabotage, there's a lot of like walking in between and gathering stuff. I try to show you guys the transitions, like where did that barge come from? Where did that fuel truck come from? I try to show you guys that kind of stuff because I think that's important for context, right? Like how did I get that stuff behind there? So now I'm already at Relinqua, and you know how where this fuel truck came from. I found this on Grizzly Refuge. So this is one of the things that you guys didn't see. I had been here before, so I knew this place was safe, and I had stolen these two items. The track truck, because it's reservable. If I ever get it back to our line, maybe a logistics driver will want it. I don't know. But then I also got this APC, so I wanted an excuse to use it, so I leave the barge there, and it's faster than the barge, but it's not very maneuverable at all. And it's not quite as good as the barge because you can't really use your binoculars out of it. Like you can jump out and jump in the back of it and then do whatever, but it's not quite as convenient. I like the barges more than the APCs, to be honest. So this is fun. This is me heading up. This is a nuke site that I think my old regiment calf built. I later found out they didn't, but I was really trying to get in and steal stuff from my old regiment, so I spent some time up in this area, and I had almost stolen a tank, but my pride, I don't think I got it on video, but I stole a tank from here, and because I wanted to get a picture beside a sign, I got out of the tank, walked back, and when I did that, I got killed by Natsume, one of my old clanmates. But it was his tank I was stealing. But you got to learn those valuable lessons, man. Like, if you want to have pride and you want to gloat, be prepared to lose something like well, that was an outlaw tank that I ended up losing because I wanted to gloat. So those valuable lessons. I really just, if I want the tank, don't gloat. Like, valuable lesson. Like, this was all footage you didn't see. Like, I stole a tank from here. Like, it's really unfortunate. Look at this guy. Yeah, I know this guy. He come back. He's not capped though. He's Warden Navy or some stupid shit. Anyways, he doesn't keep up with me. My heart was pounding here. I was like, shit, I'm done for. But I end up weaseling my way out of that, so that was close. Yeah, so yeah, I stole a tank from here. I wanted to leave a sign up saying, hey, you guys, if you don't know the story, I used to be the leader of CAF on the Warden side from War 75 to 82. And then need a little change up. I like to play with those guys. Those guys are my friends, and I like to play with them. But I also like to play alone. Uh, when you run a regiment, especially like a good regiment like CAF, very organized and motivated regiment, you don't really have a lot of time to do anything else but run the regiment. And I had wanted to make some content to fill up my YouTube channel for a while, so I decided that I would, flip sides and start something solo and really get a fresh start. I didn't want anybody to be bitter about it or anything like that, so I just flipped over, and there was some stuff I wanted to get away from on the Warden side. Nothing terrible, but you stick around too long. Sometimes you like to see what the other side is like. So 83, I came over to Colonial. I played the game for a long time. I played much more casually during the wars during the 30s times, and then other times more periodically. It's only when I started playing during War 75, at the start of War 75, that I started to take the game a lot more seriously and really enjoy it. The game had come a long way from what I remember it previously. So yeah, so So I started with the Wardens 75. House of Wolves of CAF invited me to join them. And then he soon retired in War 76. And then I took kind of the mantle of leadership with the support of some really good people and officers. And we led CAF from 76 to 82. And it was a really good time, one of the most enriching gaming times of my life, actually. So I really enjoyed it, but I after that much time, I wanted to try a little something different. So on 83, I came over here to start to exercise the skills I had in the game and develop my YouTube channel a little bit with some content for Foxhole. So that's what this is now. And so back to the video. This is just deep line scouting. This is kind of what you do. The problem with deep line scouting as a solo is that when I did this for CAF, there were real implications. I had a lot of resources to bring to bear if I actually ever found something worthy, and I could bring several people with me to execute an operation with all these things. But that's one way to play the game. The other way to play the game, and I hold very highly, is that there is no real limit to what you can do as a solo player. Well, there are limits, obviously, but what I'm trying to say is the impact you can have as a solo player can be immense, and that can be felt. Those vibrations of what you do as a solo can definitely have an impact on the outcome of the war. This series is my attempt to show people that a solo player can actually do quite a bit during a war. You don't need to feel like you have to be in a huge regiment to have an effect. So definitely things like this in particular, where you're doing the backline scouting, maybe you don't have the regiment to assist you with some of these larger operations, but that doesn't dampen the fact that you can definitely have a great effect. Um, and when I'm playing in an important war like 83, not so much in 84, I don't really feel it, but in 83, I definitely feel it. As soon as I get in the game, I start to think about how I can have the greatest effect. And, like, uh, you know, the first things I start to weigh are, am I going to go bang scrap? Like, how much can I add if I bang scrap? And then I always think, well, you know, I can do other things. I can bang scrap, and there are people who bang scrap and are dedicated, and those people are exceedingly important to the outcome of the war. So that's already one way you can really impact the outcome of the war, is by being a logistics main. And so I always contrast everything against the logistics main. Is how can I be more productive than a logistics main? If you want to do kind of stock contribution, go to the front line and hold the front. Like, that's a stock contribution. You want to do a tick up from that, you do some logi. For If you want to go a tick up from that, you need to start to develop important skills, like disrupting logistics, learning how to find supply routes and how to camp them. Um, you know, Scouting is a big thing. Looking for opportunities. If you don't look for opportunities, you're not going to get them. So, you know, this video in particular is kind of a representation of that. You know, I don't always record when I go this deep back into the line, but a lot of time can be spent to look for opportunities, and so this is kind of a video about that. These aren't those huge scores. These aren't big trucks along the road. It's not super exciting. We don't really see a lot of enemy players like we saw those logistics players banging away. The funny thing is they don't even know I'm there watching them. But I need to choose a place to strike, and it takes a long time for me to get up here. It's very costly for me to get up here. So, anyways, and then you find things like this little juicy morsel, which I fully intend on coming back to. Um, so you'll just see why in a minute. See, look at that. So those are the opportunities I'm talking about. And this isn't terribly well defended, but it's defended enough that I can't get in there right now. So this is kind of the point where I'd be like, an additional person would make a big difference. With one additional person, I could take both those tanks, no problem. So this is one of the opportunities that I found, and I'll keep this in mind. I'm not going to be able to do anything about it now, but I'm definitely going to keep this in mind and see if I can get my hands on some of this stuff. The other thing I mentioned at the beginning of the video is these are the types of bases, like if unmaintained, will just decay, and if left unmaintained long enough, all you'll see is the tanks and the vehicles there with no defenses. So those are those mega opportunities that you're kind of looking for. Anyways, this I've survived for a very long time. I think the last time I died was over approaching that island when I got killed by that machine gun ray, and I'm really antsy to try and make a difference here. I cut out of the video. I went back to get some ammo to try get this little place here with all these vehicles behind these gates here, and much to my dismay, as you'll see, I'm knocking out a little position here to try get in to this compound. And these are kind of things, is like 2,000 hours in Foxhole, over 2,000 hours in Foxhole. And I'm walking up and I'm pretty sure I can shoot through this gate, right? A very tenuous situation to try get over here, obviously, right? It's like, as I used to tell the guys, is you're dealing with lanes. So if you clear a lane, make sure you stay in that lane because you haven't cleared other lanes. So this is a good example of what that is. In this, it's with tanks, it's with just about any type of organized strategic attack, is that if you clear a lane, stay in that lane. I couldn't tell that enough to the guys when I was playing in the reg, man. If you're a tank line, don't fan out unless you need to fan out. If you are organizing a very spearhead type attack onto a certain target, make sure you maintain your lane. Anyways, guys, that was the video for today. I'm glad I was able to narrate it all for you.